Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and wherever you're tuning in from around the world or in Australia, welcome to wonderful Lismore on the New South Wales North Coast. We have a very special matchup this afternoon. It is the Barbarians Football Club up against the Wallabies Classic. My name is Martin Lippiett, and joining me, ARU, especially from Rugby.com.au, Marty Cambridge. Welcome, mate.
Thank you very much, Marty. A double Marty combo today. This is another debut for me. It's Marty and Marty in the commentary box.
Two Martys make it right.
Yes, mate. Absolutely correct. But it's not about us today. It's about the Classic Wallabies taking on the Barbarians. And, mate, it's just going to be an absolutely sensational afternoon, evening down here in Lismore.
Well, the big thing is one of the founding things for this afternoon's game. We are here raising money for the Lismore relief. We all know they got struck by some horrible floods earlier on, so big part of today is we are raising money, and if you do jump on the link, you are able to send some funds through to help the relief here. Great part of the world. But before we get underway, we're going to have a quick look. Rugby.com.au caught up with Quade Cooper and Alan Jones to see how the Barbarians are going. Check it out.
Yeah, it's been fun. Everything I expected, you know. Speaking to anyone who's been able to be a part of this Barbarians team over the years, has always said when you get in there it's about bonding, enjoy your time and just express yourself when you're out there playing football.
We knew when we picked them they had talent, but I was surprised with the forwards who were quite happy to play with the football. Look, I'm trying to change the way they play, and I know you can't do that overnight, but there's too much of the modern game where everyone's on the ground. The ruck ball seems to dominate. There's no play in the air, which is the maul ball. So we did a bit of that tonight. They seem to be happy about it. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be different because, you know, obviously I've represented Australia a few times. It's a team that I'm very passionate about, so it'll be weird going up against them. You know? So but I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to the opportunity to put on the Barbarians jumper. It has a long-standing tradition, something that I've always enjoyed watching and something that I've always wanted to be a part of, and now I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to be a part of it, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
That is just so exciting. Look at them up there getting photos taken now. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And that's one of the reasons, as you know, that we've come here. But it's just been a magnificent afternoon. I'm shell-shocked. There's people everywhere. It's a wonderful experience, and the kids are just loving it.
You have a look at the team we've been able to put together. Some of the guys that are playing, fantastic talents. Our coach, he's been all about expressing ourselves. Everything he talks about is going out there having fun, and he's never going to get upset at us for trying. So, given that, you can expect to be entertained. Come out, enjoy it, enjoy a good afternoon of rugby, and for all the families and everyone who wants to watch.
Great stuff there, and we see the Classic Wallabies have made their way out to the field, and we are moments away from the Barbarians taking the field. And while we've got a moment, let's quickly run through our team lists for today. We're going to obviously start with the Classic Wallabies side. Marty, take us through it, mate.
Yeah, checking out the front row, we've got Connor Young, Adam Fryer, Matt Gibbon, second row, Jake Douglas and Radiki Samo, Dave McDouling, AJ Gilbert and Pac McCutcheon make up the back row. And how we look at the backs, we've got Brett Sheehan, Nick Juiced, Lottie Takiri, Morgan Tiranui, Matt Carraro, Alex Gibbon and Drew Mitchell's the skipper and the fullback for this clash. And as we just check out the bench for the Classic Wallabies as well, we've got Bill Johnson, Rory O'Connor, Jock Armstrong, Pat Phibbs, Clay Ewan, James Verity-Am, Byron Hutchinson and Brendan Owen.
Awesome stuff. Now we're going to jump across. We're going to have a look at the Barbarians who are coming out of the field right now for the front row. Sefar Agassi, Anorangi and Salesi Manu in the second row. Richard Arnold and Matt Phillip. On the flanks we have Max Girdler and Kane Koteka. Number 8, Sam Ward at halfback, and captain Michael Ruru at number 10, 5'8", Sam Green on the wings, Andrew Kellaway and Jack Maddox in the centres, David Horwitz, Tom Connor, and at fullback Tom Banks with our reserves, Andrew Reddy, Pakau Cohen, Taniela Tupou, Sam Carter, Issy Naisarani, Theo Strang, Tim Nanai Williams and Brett Wellington, coached by Alan Jones. Now, let's talk about tactics for today's game. What do you think both sides are going to be trying to employ?
Oh, I spent a bit of the last few days hanging out with the Classic Wallabies. I know they've got a couple of tricks up their sleeve plan tonight. Hopefully we get a chance to see them use it. But I mean, the Classic Wallabies, they'll be hoping to get the ball in the hands of the young guys a fair bit to make sure they can, keep the minutes going. But they're definitely up for it, and a lot of their chat's been about winning the game.
I think there's a couple of factors that I'm thinking about. There's unlimited subs, I believe. So I wouldn't be surprised if this bigger framed Classic Wallabies side might have a bit of a revolving door policy tonight with their players.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. If you have a look at their bench, a lot of young guys from the Western Force side of this year are there. James Verdiam, Clay Ewan, Byron Hutchinson too. So definitely those kids will be keen to get some minutes under their belt.
Well, it would also be a bit of a learning experience because let's be honest, they're probably playing with a lot of the household names that they grew up to, when they were still in school. And I think that's one thing to notice. On one side in the green and gold jerseys, we have got many older household names. Also on the other side in this Barbarians, there's many new names as well. So I think this is just
playing against the Barbarians side.
Well, that was one of the big things. I spoke with Alan Jones before the game. Obviously, Wallabies coach from 84 to 87, and he said there's a lot of players in this side that he put in because he felt that they didn't quite get there. They didn't quite get there just desserts. So they're in this side, and I think right now we're taking a minute's silence to remember.
We are not far also from our other brothers, the Benjamin people of North Lismore, not far from here. But they too have looked on spiritual believers. And once the gathering place of members of the family, the ceremony. We also say thank you to the Classic Wallabies. And tonight, or this afternoon, all of us here have come to see, I should hope, a game where there's no pressure, where there's a lot of plans being played, camaraderie, and play in the spirit on our country. And I'll finish just by saying, bring it on.
And I think that was pretty true there. Looks like I think that's one of the big flares of this game, Marty, is there is a big sense of the local community here, even though these players have come from near and far.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a few guys, of course, as well in the Classic Wallabies team who herald from this area. They've done that slightly on purpose, but also due to, their great credentials as rugby players. The Gibbon brothers are from Alstonville, just around the corner. Also, Jake Douglas, the brother of Kane and Luke Douglas, so he's from Yamba, just around the corner as well. So it's great to have those guys here enjoying this game and playing in front of family and friends, which I'm sure they don't get to do that often.
Yeah, there's a lot of pedigree in both sides, and I'm really looking forward, because me growing up, Lottie Takiri, there was a household name. And what do you know? And you see him now. He is still a very big human. So I'm looking forward to seeing how, the backs like Maddox, Connor, Banks, Kellaway, Hortz, how they're going to deal with him. And we are underway. Great kick-off there by the Classic Wallabies, the Barbarians. They'll clean it up and they're going to start their campaign. They're going to get knocked down just outside their 22. Obviously, the Barbarians, Marty, all donning their home club socks here today. One of the features that's been about this side since about 1890 when it all started.
Yeah, it's fantastic tradition, and that's what the Barbarians are all about, as they earn an early penalty here. Nick Juice with that great kickoff, and we saw the Classic Wallabies go digging and looking for a pilfer straight away. They'll be looking to slow down the contest at the ruck, there's no doubt about that.
Well, Michael Viru, ball in hand, offloads it to Green. Great seeing Sam Green back on the continent. He's been over playing in Japan with Toyota. So that's the other thing. There's a lot of players that we've seen here we haven't seen for a while. They've come back to play, so really exciting. Yeah. First line out. Rungy, ball in hand, gets it up. Great line out. Oh, Roo, bit of a fumble, but it was a knock on. They're going to keep moving forward. The Classics lining up. Agassi over the top. Ruru goes around to clean it up. Ruru looks for his options. The Barbarians, they've tracked their way over the halfway line now. They're moving up, looking for that 40. The Big Hoff refereeing today's game. You're going to go down the far side. You're going to swing it through the hands. You're going to keep going. Pulling away on the far side. A little bit of a chip and chase. I believe that was by Maddox. It looks like it's going to be line-out time for the Classic Wallabies. You think we're going to see a bit of old-school razzle-dazzle here, Marty?
Well, there we go. Adam Fry's taking it quickly, and they tried to go very quickly both back. Adam Fry, of course, with 25 caps for the Wallabies, and made his New South Wales Country Eagles and NRC debut the weekend just prior, so he's in great form, scoring a try.
Oh, and here we go. The Barbarians are away. Pulling through. Little flick pass up the side. There's Fargassi. Pushes through hard. They're on the 22. Ruru from the back, sends it out. There's Green. Green gets a great offload, finds Phillip. He'll fall short 7 metres. Barbarians, Ruru goes around the corner. Looks to go himself. Thought he saw some space, but the old-timers had him at the post. Oh, and that's a bit in from the side. But the Barbarians will hold on. Green gets the offload, but it looks like Rangi will knock it on. A very, very fast play there from the Classic Wallabies. They've set it down. And here's Banks. Banks links up. Back on the inside here is Maddox. Maddox, a little bit of a shimmy, but he hits a hard shoulder of Matt Gibbon. They find themselves back on the Classic Wallabies 40-metre line. The Classic Wallabies, very aggressive in defence. They're going to keep moving up. Ruru's got the ball, flicks it out, working it through the hands, very clean. Green puts it out. Here's Banks. We know Banks has got wheels. Banks gets the little offload back into play. With the Classic Wallabies, they'll clean it up. It's their turn to attack.
Adam Fry got the ball in hand now. He did the clearing kick from inside the 22. Don't usually see that from a hooker, but there's probably going to be a few things we don't see usually on the paddock today. As
that was
Classic
some very
Wallabies
good
have
hands.
some good hands through the forwards. And Sheen goes into scrum half and he spreads it to Duke.
Oh, there's an intercept.
On the inside.
The Barbarians back on the attack here, knocking on the door. They're going to go wide. A little bit of a shimmy from Kellaway, but he'll get wrapped up. Ruru from the back. Offloads, puts it into the hands of Manu. Manu will get it over the 22. Ruru again, off the back, offloads. Fargassi, bit of a fumble, but he holds on. Good tackle there from Jake Douglas. The Barbarians sending it wide through the hands. Oh, and that was a bit of an intercept there. They got a bit casual with the Wallabies, but they're going to regather quite well. Banks is out wide. Can Banks go all the way? He's going to push through. And that'll be first blood going to the Barbarians. Number 15, Tom Banks. They're in the lead. 5 points to 0.
An incredibly fast start out there. The Classic Wallabies will be blowing. We can see Morgan Turinui in the back there, hands on hips. The 3rd minute in, but yeah, very enterprising play. We know what we're going to see today. It's not going to be standard structured football. The ball's going to get thrown around a lot, and we saw Morgan Turinui got the intercept, went inside to Lottie Takiri, who tried to himself pass the ball on.
And we see here on the replay, Marty, there was a little bit of a moment there. I think the Barbarians, they were just taking the Wallabies Classic team a little bit too casually, and they were a bit of right place, right time, and I think Lottie Takiri will be spewing over that one, putting it into the hands of Kellaway, who then found Banks in the corner.
Yeah, and Tom Banks can chuck it on his CV now, 1-on-1 with Drew Mitchell, skipping around the outside. I'm sure Drew won't be happy about that. There's no doubt there'll be penalties for missed tackles after the game. So,
maybe that French diet of wine and cheese is, of the off season's made Drew a little bit slower than he used to be.
Mate, he's still a very good footballer. There's no doubt about that. And there's plenty of minutes left in this one. So, don't be surprised to see Drew Mitchell make up for that missed tackle at some point during this game.
Sam Green now kicking 22. 5 metres in. Won't be successful.
The try to the Barbarians was scored by number 15.
Yeah, a bit of a gusty wind coming in here from the northwest today, Marty. For the viewers, that's over the Classic Wallabies right-hand shoulder. So cooler conditions than I'd probably say. I am from Queensland, but I have to say this corner of northern New South Wales, such a great place.
Absolutely sensational. We spent a few days down here now around Lismore doing some coaching clinics at Lismore Rugby Club last night, and there was some other appearances from Stephen Halls and Drew Mitchell throughout the week, and the reception from the local community has just been sensational. They love their rugby down here, and every little bit like this just goes to adding to the great game that everyone's so passionate about.
And we are definitely at the grassroots of our game in this venue here. And the Barbarians, Ruru, coming onto the short side. They're going to keep working it, pick and driving. Good run from Phillip. They're going to send it out. Oh, and that'll be a fumble. Knock on. Australian Classics in the hand, sends it out from Tuanui. They're going to keep working it out. Takiri's on his outside. Maybe a few years older than these boys, but still got some speed. There's a good run from Sheehan. Classic Wallabies working hard through the middle. Here's a bit of a run from McCutcheon. They're going to go the quick restart. Ball in the hand of Brett Sheehan.
Yeah, Brett Sheehan just recently back from French rugby. He's living over in Perth now, working up in the mines up there, and he's got a baby on the way too. So this could be Brett's last Classic Wallabies game for a while when the bub comes along.
You don't want to never say never, but... And here we go. This is actually a very interesting point of the game now. Classic Wallabies, very good opportunity here. 5 metres out from the try line. I'm feeling the driving ball is going to be on the menu.
Well, it could be. We saw them practice it a couple of times throughout the warm-up. And they have got a very solid pack. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, if we could have the sliding bars of weight, I think they definitely win it. Great take in the air from Douglas. They're going to get the drive on now. Numbers are there. Rules have changed a bit since they probably did driving mauls. That ball's got to get to the back. They can't hide it in the middle. Sheehan offloads, puts it into the hands. Here's Tiranui. Oh, but he'll get taken. Good defence. Sheehan again offloads. Here's Takiri. Takiri, unorthodox. The kick pass. He won't get there.
Alex Gibbon, gee, he went hard at that one. He's having a chat with Andrew Kellaway there, telling him if he'd caught that, he was over for sure.
Didn't expect that kick from Lottie.
Well, I didn't think he was too keen to run it too much further, so he was going to have to do something with it. We saw Lottie Takiri try something similar in the Sevens game they played over in Fiji against the Fijian Legends team led by Wasali Sarevi. And it didn't quite pull off there either, so he's had 2 goes at it now. I'm sure there'll be a third. I'm sure there'll be a third time.
Now the Barbarians. Oh, they've gone the very sneaky one. They put it right into the front, to the front lifter, but it'll go out. So, another opportunity here for the Classic Wallabies. 10 metres out. Can the Youngbloods make something happen here? And, credit has to go to players like Radiki Samo, Marty, that playing in the Queensland Premier Grade Grand Final this year, which that was a fantastic game. He's backing up playing here. The Classic Wallabies on the attack. Following up, there's Gibbon. Gibbon will go down. They're going to try to pilfer them. On his knees will be Fryer. Sheehan's lining up his options to the right. Offloads a good run by Douglas. They're 5 metres out, the closest they've been this match. Can the Barbarians hold them? Sheehan offloads, puts into the hands of Juice. Juice goes himself. Ian digs it out. They're going to look to the left hand. Fancy footwork there. And that'll be Drew Mitchell. The shimmy step offloads to Sheehan. They're going to go out wide. Lottie Takiri goes over in the corner. You said he'd make up for it, and did he ever?
What an absolute crowd pleaser. Drew Mitchell with the inside step, back to Brett Sheehan, out to Lottie Takiri. That was like going back to the Classic Wallabies days.
Absolutely. That was an ankle breaker. He nearly lost our cameraman on that step. That was sensational.
Great stuff from Drew Mitchell. And you can see there, none of them are blowing too hard. They're looking pretty fit, so Lottie Takiri at the back there. And yeah, here was the step from Drew Mitchell. Brett Sheehan delivered it. There wasn't much going on. Drew made a bit of a run to get on the outside, and he left Rangi for dead. Rangi came all the way inside. I thought he was going to go over, but he ended up popping it back up for Sheehan. He drew one man, and
Lottie just drove over the line.
Jack Maddox isn't going to stop Lottie Takiri from 2 metres out.
I don't think many people will stop this version of Lottie from 2 metres out these days.
No, you're probably right there.
Now, this could be a big moment. Conversion attempt here. They're tied up, 5 points all. He's got the wind over the right shoulder. Strikes. Very firm. He's going to pull it. And scores levelled out, 5 points all. The Classic Wallabies. This is a bit of a lesson for the Barbarians, Marty. Don't get them within striking range because there's still life in some of them old bones.
Yeah, it's a good point. The Barbarians obviously getting off to that good start through Tom Banks, and then a couple of errors from them inside their own half, and the Classic Wallabies more than happy to take advantage of that.
The Green will go for the restart. It goes high. Samo's underneath and he takes it. Samo, still a beacon of fitness. Still mixing it up in the top Premier Grade competition in Brisbane, Queensland Premier Grade for Jeeps under Anthony Matheson. They had a great season. Oh, Sheehan. He wanted that ball out pretty hard there.
Yeah, he was going looking for it, that's for sure. So, Barbarians get a chance here to go on the attack.
This is our first scrum of the day, Marty. Now, how do you think this one's going to play out?
Well, I'm not too sure, but I heard whispers during the week there was going to be a gentleman's agreement between the front row, but we'll get a pretty good idea of it here if they do push hard. I know a lot of these blokes don't know how to play in first gear. They generally get up through the gears pretty quick, so we'll see with Michael Ruru feeding it. And, you know, Seth Fargase was part of a extended Wallaby squad that played over in France last year. He's solid. Anu Rangi, Checkers already singled him out by name as someone that he's got his eyes on.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's been it looks like there's a bit of gentlemanly action happening there in that scrum. They're out wide now, following it up. Good run from Maddox. Maddox will go down. Rue at the back, offloads, puts it into the hands of Ward. Ward, very, very, very hard run, but I think the Classic Wallabies might is too good there. They got him on the deck.
Yeah, they won a pilfer there, which is pretty big. Didn't quite catch the number of who it was, but fantastic work as Nick Juice goes to the line. Nick Juice, of course, the Australian under-20s representative twice. He's played with the Western Force over in Perth before moving to the Brumbies a couple of years ago, and he's moving onwards and upwards in his career.
Line-out opportunity here for the Classic Wallabies. 40 metres out from their own line, thereabouts. Setting up. Ooh, a bit of a loose ball. Barbarians have it. Working it through, there's Green, gets the offload. They're going to keep sending it out through the hands. Running rugby is on the menu. Tom Connor, great run, long place. Ruru gets the offload. Oh, there's another good 1-2 pass, but it's going to be lost. Hard press when you're going one-on-one against steaming Radiki Samo.
Yeah, Radiki didn't miss him there, did he? Lined him up, and if there's probably one bloke in a Classic Wallabies jersey you don't want to see the shoulder of, it's probably Radiki Samo.
Well, there might be a bit of a learning curve there for young Richard Arnold. You know, you probably learn a thing or two from Radiki.
No doubt about it. And that's, you know, what part of this whole program's about is learning from some of these guys who are the best in the business when they were at the top of their games.
Well, there's about, if you average out the ages, we're looking at about a 10-year difference between both of these teams. So, and, you know, we don't have to. If we imagine what the game was like 10 years ago for these guys, vastly different. We had a lot of rule changes, but it seems like they're bringing it together quite well here, and I think the score says it all.
Yeah, they're holding on nicely at the moment. It's only 14 minutes gone as we saw the Barbarians scrum there go. A little bit early, perhaps.
I think that gentleman's agreement we talked about a couple of minutes ago might be starting to slide out the door.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of action too going on the Classic Wallabies bench. Rolling subs today, so as soon as the blokes feel a bit tired, I'm sure they'll come off, and they've gone again early here.
So short arm. So they might think that might be a bit of old head smart there. They've just kind of said if they want to push too hard too early, let them go. The short arm, infield kick. They're going to look for the line.
Yeah, Drew Mitchell going for a bit of territory there as Tom Banks still tries to line it up, and Lottie says, please no. Let's have a little bit of a stoppage here.
I think Banks was maybe trying to ask Lottie if he wanted to go, and Lottie just...
I don't think he was too interested.
Arms up. Here we go. Away quickly here, the Barbarians on the far side. Good run from Rungi. Ruru from the back, offloads. Fargasi in hand. There's Green. They're going to keep swinging it through the hands. Oh, loose ball here. The Classic Wallabies. The crowd's going wild. They're going to pull away. That'll be Alex Gibbon. Gibbon for the corner. Classic Wallabies are ahead. 10 points to 5 here in the 16th minute.
Yeah, he's gassed his old teammate. He's at those Country Eagles. Andrew Kellaway there, and like we were talking about earlier, Alex Gibbon from Alstonville, not far from here in the home crowd. Very happy to see him get on the score sheet.
Just speaking about crowds, we look around and we have both sides of the field absolutely stuffed. The grandstand's full, up on the shady end, and we see here the Barbarians, they were doing great things, but I think they're just getting a little bit complacent out there. They're not trying to play tight rugby. That's the second or third floaty pass, and it's putting nails in the coffin, Marty.
Yeah, that's very good work by Alex Gibbon there. He'll be very happy with himself. He had a couple of words with Kellaway earlier in the game as a bit of a joke, and now he can definitely take that one over him as the subs start to roll. I can see Morgan Turunui's put his hand up. Lottie's no longer on there.
Oh, he's on the bike now. And just strikes. Oh, and he'll get it. He's getting tuned in. The Classic Wallabies ahead 12 points to 5. And this game's only just started.
Yeah, 16 minutes in. It'll be the back end of the game that really shows what they'll have in the tank, the Classic Wallabies. But as we said earlier, the rolling subs will do them wonders. And we can also see Quade Cooper running water for the Barbarians. He'll be giving lots of advice, no doubt, as he jogs off the field just at the bottom of your screen.
Samo keeps it cool under pressure, holds the ball. Sheehan gets the offload, a little bit of a shimmy step from Gibbon. The Classics coming down here, they're going to kick for exit. That wind's going to hold it. It's not going to go out. Banks, great take. Banks is on the charge now, links up with Green. Green, oh, there's another floating pass. They're going to send it out to the far side. Good run from Kellaway. The Barbarians living dangerously in this back line at the moment. Some very floaty passes. They're going to have to tighten those up, or the Classics are going to get them where they are. Through the hands. Here's Rangi. Vargasi's trying to push them back. Oh, Ruru sees some space, goes for the kick in. All he'll find is Just. Just links up. Here's Mitchell. Mitchell's on the run. Steps one. Gets wrapped up by the second. Pick and drive from Douglas. Sheehan. Sheehan looks to go himself, but he'll get brought down. The Classics, they've lost the ball. Bit of a loose ball. Just has tried to clean it up, but it looks like the Barbarians, they'll hold on to it. Ruru from the back. Green. Flat passes. They're going to keep moving forward. Good tackle from Alex Gibbon. Ruru goes down the blind side. Can he hold the fan? But he'll go out. Great covering defence there from Alex Gibbon. So it's going to be a Classics Wallaby line out. Conveniently in front of their bench.
Alex Gibbon proving great in attack and defence. As Paddy Phibbs comes on, the number 19 there in the jersey. And we see Adam Fry there in the number 2 jersey. And lots of experience and some great household names here at Lismore at Crozier Field.
Yeah, puts it up. Bit of a loose ball out the back. The Barbarians. They've lost it. Samo offloads. The Classics holding on. They're going to keep working down the far side. Looks like a bit of a shuffle up there. That'll be Pat Phibbs on the field for the Classics now. At halfback. Hoff's called the advantage. Phibbs milking it for everything it's worth. They're going to go down the far side. The Classics getting every metre out of this Barbarian outfit. Phibbs now, he's working hard. Here's Mitchell. Mitchell goes. Oh, but Mitchell gets hit by a wall of Barbarians. Hard going for our kick and chase presenter. Barbarians defence, they're holding them out slowly. Samo showing such physical strength there. Loose ball. Oh, but he's through the gap. Pulling away, good run from Clay Ewan. The Wallabies Classics looking very good. Little chip and chase from Mitchell. Cleaned up by Ruru, but then Samo puts him over the touch for good measure.
Lottie Takiri's loved that one on the bike. He nearly rode that thing straight out of town. And great work there from, first of all, Clay Ewan, and then when the ball didn't come off with Drew Mitchell, they sized up in defence.
Well, you started to see the experience. Pat Phibbs at halfback, he's sitting there and he's evaluating every single breakdown. And he's saying, right, what are these young guys doing that I can take advantage of? And there they go, quick line out. Ball back is the call. No, forward. So, scrum time for the Barbarians. Marty, hopefully they can alleviate a bit of this outstanding Classic Wallaby pressure.
Yeah, they are under all sorts of pressure here at the moment, the Barbarians. They got off to that great start, but ever since then they've really struggled to make an impact with the ball in hand. And like you mentioned earlier in the call, the Classic Wallaby centre making metres semi-easily.
I think it's just with age comes great wisdom.
Yeah, potentially. There's a fair bit of that out there. But no, they're doing very well. As we go inside this scrum, we can see Matt Gibbon there in the Classic Wallabies front row with Adam Fryer. Matt Gibbon, of course, the brother of Alex Gibbon, the try scorer from before.
Set. Hold it. Hold.
And they pack in. Ruru feeds.
Stay on 7. Stay on.
Barbarians clean out. Ruru getting a bit of harassment there at the back. Green gets the offload round the corner. The Barbarians moving. Here's Banks. He's got Maddox on the outside. Maddox now goes. Maddox dodges around them, left, right, and centre. Green gets a very, very short offload to Horwitz. The Barbarians, they're moving forward, and there we go. We saw that one creeping up all game, Marty. It looks like Hoff finally called it.
Yeah, as this half goes on a bit, you'll find that the Classic Wallabies, or both sides will start to fatigue the Classic Wallabies clearly a bit more. So Alex Gibbon takes the ball and kept it in. No, he hasn't. The flag's gone up. I thought he'd done extremely well there, Gibbon, but the ball was already out.
And I think this is the first time in about 5 or 10 minutes the Barbarians have been in the Classic Wallaby side of the field.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct there, Marty. It's the first time they've been down here for some time. We'll be able to see what they can do with the ball in hand.
Oh, very quick down. They're going to send it through. Radiki Samo just smashes his way into these contacts. There's a great run from Arnold. Rue at the back. He's looking for that ball, but picking and driving. They're going to keep going forward, the Barbarians. Very good little pick up there from Girdler. Second cousin of from rugby league great. Here goes Green. Green looks to go himself, but the defence is going to wrap him up. The Barbarians, they're slowly etching their way up, but this Classic Wallabies defence is really holding them out. Here's Farkasi, one-on-one against Samo. They're going to keep moving up the field. Here we go on the outside, Richard Arnold. He'll go across in the corner for a try. Good one from the tall Timber.
Yeah, great try there from Richard Arnold. Very classy moves through the hands by the Barbarians too. A bit of class there shown by, I think it was Andrew Kellaway who initially got the ball moving. But the Barbarians, they're working their way back into it. We see with these sorts of games, field position turns out to be key.
We see they're coming down the far side. Great continuity. Girdler gets the great offload to Richard Arnold. And I think Matt Carrara is going to be pretty hard pressed to get the better of Arnold in that contact.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Sam Green, he's going to try and level out the scores here. They're currently trailing 12 points to 10. Both teams huddling in.
And Drew Mitchell's called the whole side in, including the reserve, so they're having a good chat here about the last 20 minutes of this half or so.
Green looking for two. Green strikes. And he won't get it, so the Barbarians still trailing 10 points to 12. And I think we're having an extended break between these kicks. Might have been another one of the elements of this gentleman's agreement, but the Classic Wallabies are definitely ahead, 12 points to 10.
Yeah, they're in no rush to get back for this kickoff by the looks of things. They might have thought it was 20-minute quarters, who knows. There's a few more subs happening here, I think. It's as they come back out onto the field.
I think it's fair to say that this Barbarian side, I think they're struggling a bit with how powerful these big guys are in this Classic Wallaby side. I think it just shows that, even though some of these guys might be, 5, 6 years out of the game professionally, they are still every bit as dangerous as they were. Their fitness might not be as great, but you can definitely see the years of rugby that those bodies have been through present on this field right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, like guys like Radiki Samo, as we get a shot at the crowd here, just fantastic scenes here at Crozier Field. As you said, both sides packed, but yeah, the guys like, Radiki Samo still plays a lot. Paddy Phibbs, he played a season out at Randwick down in the Sydney grades. And then, of course, Adam Fryer still playing with Randwick.
Oh, and that's a knock-on.
And, of course, with the New South Wales Country Eagles.
Here we go, good opportunity. It'll get cleaned up by Rory O'Connor. But we're going to come back to the initial knock-on, so it's going to be a Classic Wallaby scrub. And this isn't the first time we see this. I think the loopy passes that we've seen from these outside backs to the Barbarians and that bit of spilt pill around the breakdowns, I don't want to say it, but they're really giving it to the Classic Wallabies on a bit of a silver dish.
Yeah, definitely so. But, I mean, it's up to the Classic Wallabies to make sure that they make the most of these opportunities, which they have so far throughout this game. And I know, they've been working hard they've been staying out at Lennox Head, and they've been working hard during the training sessions there on little plays that, they know so well. So we'll see what Paddy Phibbs has up his sleeve.
Phibbs feeds. We're going to go to the blind. Here's Mitchell. Mitchell tries to work some magic down the far side. But he'll get pulled up short. Bit of a loose ball here. It's going to get cleaned up by O'Connor. Phibbs at the back. Phibbs looks to go himself, but all he'll find is the mean shoulder of Matt Phillip. He's put him onto the deck. You're going to work it down at the far side. Good running game here from Verity Arm. Classic Wallabies, they're holding momentum. They're doing well on the far side, charging through. There's a good run from Armstrong. Phibbs sends it out, running hard is Verity Arm again, really making an impact in this first half. Classic Wallabies knocking on the door. There's a good run from McCutcheon in the number 7 jersey. Phibbs. And that was a stiff hit onto Just. The Classic Wallabies. I think they were struggling for an answer, so they thought they'd give it to Hoff.
They gave it to their 24th man. They were hoping that Hoff would help them out a little bit today, I think. And you see there, Hoff caught that one pretty nicely. He had pretty sharp hands.
Well, that's the thing. Hoff's at kind of to the back end of his revving career. He's been winding it up a little bit. But a lot of these players were definitely playing in, with Hoff over the last... how many years has Hoff been reffing for?
As long as I've been doing it. Adam Fryer makes his way to the bench. He's had a good 28 minutes, and Bill Johnson's on. Bill's a local here in Lismore, around the areas in the Northern Rivers, a real estate agent, I believe. He's on there now as the reserve hooker in the middle of that scrum.
Pack in, Phibbs gets it out the back, just goes himself. They're going to keep pushing through. Running up is Ewan. He'll go to deck. Classic Wallabies working hard. Phibbs gets the offload. There's McCutcheon again going up the middle. They're going to keep working it to the left-hand side. There's Mitchell. Bit of a spin off the contact. He'll gain an extra few metres. They're going to keep pushing hard. There's Douglas. They're hitting each other really hard out there. There's a really great run pushing through. Will be O'Connor. They're getting close to the line now. The Classic Wallabies floating pass out wide into the hands of McDouling. McDouling is looking for his options out wide. Phibbs lines it up. They're going to keep going through the hands. But following it up will be a good run from Ewan again. Mitchell over the ball. Great work, but that'll be McDouling getting put in his place. Phibbs lines them up. Hands of Verity Arm. He goes on the inside. Bit of a loose ball. Looks like some good Barbar defence. Slowing this Classic Wallabies attack down. They're going to send it over the far side. Through the hands. Good run up the middle there from Douglas. They're going to keep moving. Here go the Barbarians cleaning it up. Here's Ruru. Ruru floats one out wide. Puts it in it to...
Nearly there, Sammy. When you're ready, mate. Hold him there, Pooks, don't let it throw you. Send him on. Hold the throat, mate, hold the throat. Are we good to go out? Just wait, no. Hold. You're just waiting for the winger. He's coming now, mate. Here he comes. Where you are? Play. Hold. Isolate. Play on. Rudy, right? Hold him. No hands, goal! Ball still in the ruck. Ball still in the ruck. Off supplementary. Yeah, mate. Bring the 9 on straight away. Bring their replacement. 1.5. Ball's available. Leave it. Leave it. No, no. Out. Roll out, Black. Out of the way. You never got to your feet. Let it go.
Grab it to channel 2, take out ref line, and
So
make sure
well past time. If you want the line out, check it out on the full.
Adam, can you just check your levels for this camera, for this
1-1.
And we are back here live.
22 and 20 off. 13, 15 off.
And the Barbars, they're working hard on the far side of the field. Pushing on the far side. Here goes Banks. Banks goes for a little kick himself. He's going to keep going. Kick and chase underway. Can they clean it up and keep going? But it'll fall a bit short there of Kellaway.
Yeah, Nick Juice now has the ball in hand. Sorry about the loss of commentary there. The whole of power's gone out in Lismore because everyone was too excited for this game. No excuses for the crowds not to get down now. As Byron Hutchinson comes out of the ball, there was a call on the inside from Drew Mitchell, but ran past it as Gibbon ends up with the ball in hand, and they come to this short field now.
And Ewan will go to the deck. They're going to keep moving up here. They're on their own 40. This first half is pulling away. There's Samo. Oh, and that was a very, very zesty over-the-top work there from Matt Gibbon on the breakdown. Penalty against him for it. For the Barbars, they're going to give it to Green. He's going to look for the line. That will be the half-time siren. So I think, Marty, the Barbars are going to kick for the line, and I think it's going to be back to the sheds for discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. The Classic Wallabies held up really strong in that opening half an hour here in Lismore, but we see their legs just running out a little bit towards the end of this second half with Sam Green crossing before. And the current score, of course, is 17-12 to the Barbarians. As Rangi gets ready to throw this one in, as they look for last points before half-time.
There they go, very swish with the hands. It'll be a knock forward, but Hoff will call the half. And what a fantastic first half of rugby it's been. The Classic Wallabies absolutely living up to their namesake. All players doing very well. The Barbarians in the lead, though, as they go into half-time. So what's been some of the standout performances in the first half for you, Marty?
And I really liked Verdi M's contributions when he came on. But without a doubt, my favourite thing so far in the first half has been Drew Mitchell's step on the inside around Rangi. As you said at the time, an ankle breaker just about it. Of course, Lottie Takiri's throwing in the corner. It doesn't get much better than that.
It's sending it back to heydays for these boys. And, I think as you go on, you'd run out of your good stories and there'd be a lot of repeating, but I think they're going to probably get another 10 years worth of stories out of today's game.
Yeah, mate, they're adding a couple of chapters here tonight. There's no doubt about that. The crowd's going wild. Drew Mitchell's in the ear of the ref at half-time. They do definitely want to win this game, and they'll head into the sheds, but there's some fresh faces on that Barbarians bench who we hope to see in this second 40. Andrew Reddy, Taniela Tupou, the Tongan Thor, Sam Carter played plenty for the Wallabies, and Naisarani, he's an absolute beast out there on the field. Hopefully we get to see a bit of them in the second half.
Absolutely. I have to say, for me, I think the combination of Maddox and Banks, they've really excelled for the Barbarians. They cleaned up a lot of loose ball out the back, and I think that is the back line, in the form of Maddox and Banks. When they weren't throwing those loopy passes, Marty, it was a lot tighter, and we saw it had heaps of runaway tries, and we even saw the likes of Richard Arnold and Arangi all up in the mix with those backs, using obviously the little better fitness that they have.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, when they do play that tighter football, they do better. There's no doubt about that. And, you know, but there's obviously, you know, instruction from Alan Jones, no doubt that they want to play a bit more expansive footy. But, yeah, great first half, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and the line-outs and the scrums have also been a fantastic competition from both sides. And I think the Classic Wallabies are also really strutting their stuff. When they get within 10 metres, their line-outs have been phenomenal. It's put them over the line. Very good structure there, so it's really good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. The set piece has been important. The power looks like it might be coming back. The big screen's got a couple of little flickers on it, so we might be back behind the commentary box in a minute, but at the moment we're on the field and it's getting a bit chilly down here. There's no doubt it's going to get a bit colder.
Yeah, but we're down here on Ground Zero. I have to say, it's not the worst place to be in this ground right now. And I'm very silly gave you the binoculars, and it seems you've been enjoying the view from there. But how great is this venue? The crowd here is sensational, and even though the power went off, no dampened spirits at all.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic down here. The kids are on at half-time, kicking around on the footies, and you know they're auctioning off a couple of jerseys for the local Lismore Rugby Club. We can see that president there. Corey, he was down at the Lismore Rugby Club yesterday as well, helping out run the clinic. So, yeah, just a fantastic afternoon, and it really shows, you know, for those guys up in Queensland, what they're missing out on with daylight saving.
Well, I'm from Queensland. I'll yield on the fact that if I had to pick between being Brisbane this afternoon or being down here, I'm really happy I'm down here. It's just that, you know, if at home, if you could just be sitting on this field right now, you've got this wonderful breeze coming across the ground, clear blue skies. It's just such a wonderful pocket of the country, and if you're ever coming through, try and stop in, because I guaranteed you'll be treated to quite a good time. And that's the other big reason we are here, Marty. It's to raise money for the flood appeal, because you know Lismore was ravaged by floods earlier in the year, and it's been a big clean-up, a big effort. And I think the fact that we're seeing so many people from the local community out here, I think it speaks quite largely for you know, Lismore as itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a fantastic area, like you said. Beautiful snippet of the country, beautiful pockets. We sit here, you know, staring out of the field. You can see the hills littered with jacarandas, and you know there'd be just plenty of amazing areas around here in the northern rivers of New South Wales. And they were talking to a few of the local guys yesterday. They were talking about the flood that came through, and they were showing me the marks on the post of the goals where the floods got up to. And we're talking like 3-4 metres high. And it's, yeah, just phenomenal that, you know, they're back on track and slowly working their way back to where they were.
Well, that's it, and I think they're going to be taking their time here at half time. There might have been another gentleman's agreement along with the you know, that extended 25-minute restart for the Barbarians. So going into this second half, who do you think you're going to keep your eyes on in relation to players? Who do you think from the Wallabies Classic side has still got a little bit more impressing to do?
Yeah, I think Nick Juice, number 10, will be pretty keen to play some more minutes and do quite well. He's, as I mentioned during the call, he's played a lot with the 20s, a lot with the Brumbies, and he's looking for that next step in his career. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. I also love watching Pat McCutcheon play. He just rips in every time he gets the ball in hand. And of course, Radicki Samo, that guy's going 100 miles an hour. And he's, you know, however old Radicki is, there's still no one really knows, but
41.
41, there you go. That's the official line from Radicki's manager. But yeah, I mean, really great just to see these young blokes. Alex Gibbon came off there towards the end of that half. He was the try scorer, of course, so we'd like to see Gibbon with ball in hand more, and a couple of the young guys like Verity Am and Clay Ewan who've had strong contributions so far.
Well, I think Gibbons plural would be the one for me. Both the Gibbons are playing very well, and you know, when we go across and we look at the Barbarians, I think Sefar Garci's had a great game up on the front row. He's definitely injecting himself into the contacts. Richard Arnold had a couple of drop balls, but he's tightened it up. He's had some good hard running, especially down this close side wing in front of the grandstand. The crowd's gone wild. Max Girdler as well in the forwards. He's had a great one. Then we go to the back. I think Sam Green's actually been very flexible today. We've seen him jumping at the half roll. He's obviously having a good game on the toe as well. And it was like you said, we've seen Quade Cooper. He's run the waters today. He'll be playing on the weekend down at Allianz Stadium when they take on the Wallabies, which will be be another big step up. And I think it's such a great opportunity for a lot of these guys. There were a few of them in that extended Wallabies squad earlier in the year, and for them to be lining up to play against them this weekend, that's a pretty big deal.
Absolutely. Another interesting matchup that I was watching quite closely in that first half is Jack Maddox for the Barbarians up against Morgan Turanui, his assistant coach down at the Rebels. No doubt he's trying to impress Morgan on the field but not embarrass him, so I'm sure there's a fine line that Jack's walking there. But no, it's been fantastic, and I've really enjoyed Tom Banks too. He just had such a great season down in Canberra with the Brumbies, and he's, he'll be moving on to bigger and better things, no doubt.
Oh, absolutely. I particularly like that little moment that him and Lottie had on the sideline. Banks, I might go for the quick one. I think Lottie just came in and he tried to crush the dream pretty hard and just say, come on, young blood, time for us to have that line out.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about that. There'll be plenty of time for playing on quickly on Saturday, I think, and they might be hoping that today there's a bit more slow ball, especially in the second 40.
Well, the biggest thing about the game this weekend is obviously we're going to be seeing a different composition of players than what we saw on the weekend when they bested the All Blacks in a fantastic fashion. And that's the scoreboard back up, 22-12 to the Barbarians. So I think our time, on the sideline, Marty, might be coming to an end, and we might be going back to the dreaded box.
Oh, we've got to wait and see what the producers say, mate. But we might have a bit of sway if we like it out here. I just have to make sure I go and get my jumper on, because it's going to get chilly, there's no doubt. But yeah, like you said, the game on Saturday down at Allianz, going to be a ripper. Can't wait to see, Check with a bit more flexibility. Check, trying out a few different things. It's going to be Izzy's last game for the year. Probably Parisi will get a run, and I'm looking forward to seeing who he plays at 10. I know Reece Hodges trained there a bit, but he won't play. So you're only really looking at Duncan Payawa. Perhaps Carmichael Hunt might slot in at 10. Who knows?
Well, the big thing for me is obviously Quade Cooper's on the other side of the aisle this weekend, and you can't rule him out as a number 10 contender. So I think he's going to have a lot to prove this weekend. He's going to want to get out there and play. And we've seen, the relationship between him and Jones, even out here today. Saw them, in council a lot this afternoon. So I think he is, as one of the more senior players in that Barbarians side, caps-wise, I think he's really taken the role and made it his own.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about that. And Quade said that, he's committed to Australian rugby. He's not going anywhere, so he wants to fight for that gold jersey. And no doubt the 2019 World Cup's on his mind, and this more better opportunity to play against Checker and some of the guys that Checker think are up and coming, and teaching them a lesson, and that's what he'll want to do.
Absolutely, and I guess when you've got the likes of Green and Banks and Connor and Horwitz and all of those guys in the back line with him, I think he's in quite a good place to do it. Alan Jones has got a great vision for this Barbarian side, and I think he's given a lot of people a run today. And over the next few weeks when the Barbarian side will be together, and it's just going to be such a valuable learning curve, and I think it's so great to see it happening all on home soil, and as a rugby fan, can't ask for more.
Yeah, absolutely. I find it interesting, Alan Jones said he wants to come back and play old school rugby because it gets taught out of these guys, but we saw a little bit there that they do fall back to their structures when in that first half, and the first half of the Barbarians first quarter of the first half, the Barbarians start to lose a little bit of their ways, and they do go back to that structured ball. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does, make sure they do that. And having Quade on the field with his ad hoc style will definitely make that easier.
I think when you look at the Classic Wallabies side in that first, for all of the first half, both halves of the first half included, they played very aggressive. They're playing very aggressive rugby at the breakdown. And I think it's fair to say the Barbarians, I think they're feeling those hits every single time those guys are coming in. You saw it, Radiki Samo, he gave away a penalty at the end there for a bit of a sniping hit into that breakdown. So, there's still an element of old school, and we see them now led on by Drew Mitchell onto the field. They are trailing 10 points, 22-12. So do you think we'll see another full half of Drew Mitchell?
Oh, I don't know. We'll see another full half of him, but he's definitely going to start this one. So hopefully he puts on another couple of those steps as the blokes continue to run out. Morgan Turanui is going to start this one, juiced as well. You can see the Gibbon brothers are getting ready too. They're going to sit on the bench to start this one, but Big DK is heading onto the field now, crossing the stripe.
And the Classic Wallabies onto the field now. Very interesting conversations in both sheds. The Barbarians coming out now. Richard Arnold in the lead on his shoulder. Theo Strang, one of the good subs, coming off Alan Jones' Barbarian bench. They're all running on now. Sam Ward in the mix. And at number 15, Tom Baggs coming on now. Here come our referees. The legend Hoff on the field. Second half action, 40 more minutes. Classic Wallabies are down 12 points to 22. And I think it's going to be straight from the word go here, mate.
Yeah, no doubt about that. They are getting ready to go here. Anaru Rangi walking on there. He looks like a beast of a bloke in that Barbarians jersey. Tom Connor, I can see he's lined up at 13. He plays a lot of his footy at 7 for the Warringah Rats, and of course is highly prevalent amongst the 7 circuit here in Australia. But it's going to be Sam Green who's going to get us underway here at Crozier Field in Lismore, and we're ready to go.
Hoff will signal the start of the second half. And Green is going to go deep just in front of the 22. The Classic Wallabies bringing back to the centre of the field, but a penalty already against the Barbarians. The Classic Wallabies making some good inroads. They're going to keep sending it through the hands. Bit of a show and go from McCutcheon. There we go, another penalties against the Barbarians. So Classic Wallabies getting quite the easy roll out of their own half mark.
Yeah, and you saw Adam Fry with all his experience there. They got the penalty, did the quick tap, and they got more space after the defensive team didn't get back to 10 metres. So this is a great start for the for the Classic Wallabies, and they'll be looking for early points.
They got a line out here now. They are in Barbar territory. They're taking their time coming to the lineouts. See Drew Mitchell in the back line for the Classic Wallabies. He's orchestrating some kind of tomfoolery. They're going to sing it out through the hands now. Here they go. Good hands from Just. They're going to keep working their way up, and there goes Drew Mitchell. Great run. They're going to keep pulling it through. There's Tiranui. Oh, a bit of a knock on. Lottie Takiri in the mix there as well. So it'll be a Barbarians line out. 40 out from their own line.
Yeah, they just moved the ball a little bit too quickly there. Lottie 5 years ago would have been steaming onto that one, but half a metre off the pace. Just out from this, just out for the second half. We know sometimes it can be a struggle to get going again. The first 5 minutes of this second half. So hopefully the Classic Wallabies got in there and got stuck into their Gatorades, and they'll be ready to go.
They're going to pack in. Big Radiki Samo's jumped in at number 8. Sheehan back in at halfback for the Classic Wallabies. There's been an eagle there between the halves. Sheehan, he's given it to him. Good run from number 8, Sam Ward. They're going to make their way up. They're going to keep rolling continuity as they go through. That's a great little pass from Girdler. They're pulling away. Great step off the left shoe. Horwitz is going. Horwitz will get wrapped up by Carraro. Here go the Barbarians down the far side of the field. On the back, Strang at halfback. Then they keep sending it through the hands. Good run from Horwitz. Making good impact in the last few phases. Another good pass from Strang. They're going to send it out wide. Going to the far side. They're going to keep pulling away. Classic Wallabies putting up some good defence. Strang offloads. Classic Wallabies really good line speed there in defence. They're really shutting down this Barbarians attack as they get close to the field. There's a good run from Arnold. That'll be a penalty.
Great work from Adam Fryer there over the breakdown. He put his hands all over that pill, and Hoff had no choice but to play the penalty. And you see the Classic Wallabies playing quickly again, and here is Morgan Tiranui on the wing.
And pulling away, he's a bit isolated, but support players will get there quickly. Bit of a loose ball and it gets cleaned up. But Hoff will call it as he sees it. So that's another penalty, Marty, against the Barbarians. They just seem to be making a lot of them when they get within 22.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple early in the second half, and the Classic Wallabies won't be worried about that at all. They'll be hopeful for a few more during the second half, no doubt. And we've seen them play on quickly a couple of times now, which I find a little bit surprising. But Nick Juice is going to go for the line here, and they'll try and work the line out. But the ball's not going to find touch.
That is not an ideal kick. It'll get cleaned up. Here goes Maddox. puts the kick in. They're going to keep going. Green showing some speed up the middle. There is Banks. Banks gets the offload. The Barbarians, Samo does well. Arnold, great little flick pass for Hutchins. Offloads, they're going to keep going. There's another one. There's Ward. Ward's going down the sideline. Ward, inside step, big hit on to Sheehan. They're going to be getting very close to the line. Can they keep it in? They're going to flick it out. There's Green. Green skips Arnold. They're going to keep working it through the hands out wide. There's Girdler, gets the offload. They're going to keep scrambling. They've moved it across the field very quickly, but the flag will go up, and that'll be a classic Wallaby line out coming at you.
Yeah, they played on quickly. Drew Mitchell's got the ball in hand, and he steps around one, he steps around two. He's got Gibbon on the outside. He doesn't use him, though, and ends up with going to deck. So Classic Wallabies are really keen to keep the ball in hand and not kick it away, which is interesting. And Nick Juice would be very unhappy with his clearing kick before as the ball comes loose. But it's going to be another penalty inside the 22 to the Classic Wallabies.
And you see, I think a bit of discipline here, Marty, from the Barbarians will probably, do them pretty good in this second half, because that's, I think, the fourth consecutive penalty they've given away in this half. And I think the Classic Wallabies, there might be a few hands on hips, but they've got the time to enjoy it.
And Nick Juice will make no mistake this time getting the ball to touch that when about 5k down the road. So they'll be sitting just about on halfway here. But as you said, they've had the penalties and the opportunities. They just haven't been able to convert them, and that'll be, that's key, really. It doesn't matter how many penalties you give away. If you're not scoring any points off the back of them, then you're going to stay behind in the game. And we can hear, sitting on the sideline, we're pretty close to the bench here, and we can hear them, giving instructions and being quite vocal. They want to win this game.
Here we go. Hiranui up the middle. He's going hard. Good run. A little bit of a loose flick pass. Sheehan does well to clean it up, but he gets cleaned up himself. Off the back, Radiki Samo goes the one-handed pick and drive, but he just stands up, and Green will put him straight back down to the breakdown. They're going to keep picking and driving, going to the far side. The Classic Wallabies, we can see them. They're looping around. Here they go. Mitchell, ball in hand. Mitchell, inside ball. Great run from Carraro. Carraro gets another offload to Mitchell. Mitchell's going to go, but he'll get brought down. Classic Wallabies looking very strong. They're flicking it out. Bit of a loose ball. Will it get cleaned up? Good little inside step from Armstrong. They're going to keep working round the corner. What can they do? Some shimmy steps from O'Connor. Classic Wallabies, they're getting close, 5 metres out from the line. There's the offload to find McCutcheon. Classic Wallabies, they're within sniffing distance of that line. Can they get over and close this 10-point deficit? They're going to keep moving. There's Just having a go up the middle, but defence will wrap him up. The Barbarians, they're switching on very well in defence here. Sheehan looks to go himself, but he gets wrapped up by Kellaway. Classic Wallabies move their way very well up the field. There's McCutcheon again. Sheehan looks to the far side. Oh, a bit of a fumble. Takiri gets the offload. But Hoff is going to call the knock-on.
Yeah, Morgan Tirinui pretty unhappy there. He had no one in front of him with a try on inside. I'm sure if you asked him, he'd politely tell you that one went backwards. But, yeah, so the Classic Wallabies there pretty close to, getting over the line. And they're showing in this second half again how much they're up for it. They want to win this game really bad.
I mean, see, the Barbarians, they're putting up great defence. But it seems like the Classic Wallabies, Marty, they're just grinding their way up that field. I know the Barbarians have got the ball now, but they're in a pretty precarious position because the Classic Wallabies are showing they've got the ability to slow them down. So, we could be seeing with a bit of wind behind them, they might look for that kick for exit and try and force an error on a potential line out. Oh, and loose ball out the back. It looks like it'll be a penalty against Sheehan. And it looks like commentators curse the Classic Wallabies giving away their first penalty for the second half.
Yeah, just something going down in the scrum there. I didn't quite catch it from the vantage point here. But yeah, they'll be annoyed by that, the Classic Wallabies, no doubt. And we saw just before, a great run from Drew Mitchell off the back of Morgan Tirinui. And we want to see more of that. That's what the crowd's here to see, is more of those Classic Wallabies balls in hand and making big breaks. So hopefully we can find another turnover here for the Wallabies.
2 replacements coming on for the Classic Wallabies.
Some replacements here for the Classic Wallabies.
David on for number 7, AJ Gilbert.
Dave McDouling back on the field.
And number 8, Pat McCutcheon coming off, and Phil Johnson
And Phil Johnson coming on there for AJ Gilbert in the number 8 jersey. The Barbarians on the attack now. Great heart straight running. That's exactly what they needed. Green spewing. He was there waiting to go. They're going to get the offload. They've got some room here. Lottie Takiri. That'll shake his ancestors. The Wallabies way up in there. Lottie Takiri. That was a hefty hit, and we're going to come right back. It looks like it's going to be the 22 restart for the Classic Wallabies. How's that one, Marty?
A lot of Takiri dropped Tom Connor right in front of where we're sitting. Tom Connor's not a small bloke, and that's that. We nearly fell off our chairs from the impact of Tom Connor hitting the ground.
And they go on for the quick restart there. Very sly footwork from Adam Fry. They do well. The Classic Wallabies on the charge, and Dave McDouling wasting no time at all. They're charging their way up the middle of the field. Sheehan off the back gets the offload. He does have Ewan on the outside, but he'll go himself. Ewan will go over the top. Sheehan's at the back. They're going to keep picking and driving. They're seeing some space around the breakdown. Sheehan goes to the far side. They're going to keep working their way up the middle. The Classic Wallabies, they're going to keep trying. This Barbarians defence going to keep picking at the cracks to see what they can find. Here's a good run from Douglas. Sheehan. Oh, and just gets cleaned up. Bit of a loose ball. And then here they go. They're going to keep pulling their way forward. Good run from McDouling. Oh, a bit of a loose ball there. The Barbarians will look to clean it up. They're going to flick it out the back. Good work from Slate. Banks offloads. There's Green. Green's going to keep moving. Oh, that'll be another knock on. But I think we're going to bring it back. And that will be a scrum right there. And I'm going to go very briefly. We're going to throw it back to Marty back in the box. Marty, you're on.
Go at it.
They're in a position in this game where they're able to win, and it's we're only 5-10 minutes into this second half, so the Classic Wallabies will be backing themselves in here at scrum time, and Brett Sheehan's going to feed it.
How you going, Marty?
Oh mate, we're back here. It's a little bit warmer down here in the corner.
Yeah.
And we're back in our usual commentary position here at Crozier Field.
Nestled in between the grandstands in the opening, and here go the Classic Wallabies. Here's Takiri. Puts on a big hit, and 2 big fens, 3 big fens, but Maddox will get his man in the end. Takiri Samo looking dangerous there. Here's Ewan. Ewan's going to go up the middle. Sheehan's offloading. And here they go, making their way up the middle of the field.
Release.
They're going to keep working their way. Sheehan at the back. Here's Samo running on, heavy line, but the defence was waiting for him. Sheehan at the back cleans it up quick. They're going to work it through the hands. They're going to find none other than Ewan. Ewan will take the run there at first receiver. The Classic Wallabies, Marty, they're grinding now in this game. They're just grinding, and they're turning their weakness into their strength.
Yeah, it feels like it's gone up a notch here in the second half, especially with the physicality. We've seen Lottie put on a huge hit on Tom Connor
and 2 big
and then 2 big fens on Jack Maddox. So everyone's starting to turn it up a level, and that's what we need to see from the Classic Wallabies. I keep saying it, but I've been in camp with them this week, and their talk hasn't been about coming out here and making up the numbers. They really want to take it to this Barbarians side.
Yeah, it might be an exhibition match, but for them, this is it's a big deal for these guys, and I think a bit of a learning curve for their young predecessors.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'd be the successors, I beg your pardon. And it is fantastic to see this quality of rugby, and to see all these names back here playing. They're playing sensational, and I'm so happy. And we see their 54th minute we are in right now. And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, one of the big driving factors behind today's match, it is the fact that we are raising money. It's the Lismore flood appeal. And as you can see on the screen there, donate at www.gofundme.com/Lismore flood appeal. Any kind of donation is welcome. Such a great place in the country. And here come the Barbarians, working hard up the underside. Oh, there's Green. Manages to snatch the ball, followed up by a good run from Girdler. They're going to keep working hard here. Strain offloads it. Oh, and there's a good run. Oh, but the ball's been lost out the front. And there we go. Sheehan with the ball in hand. A little bit of a chip and chase. Oh, and it'll get taken. And I think that'll be a penalty for touching the man in the air, but there's no love lost. There's nothing sinister in it.
Yeah, absolutely not much in that one, but the referee making the right call. They've got to protect the player's safety. There's no doubt about that. So the Barbarians now with probably their best attacking opportunity of this second half, which is still yet to see a score in.
Yeah, it's been an interesting first 5-10 minutes there, Marty. The Barbarians giving away a lot of penalties and then a lot of field position as well. The Classic Wallabies, they reacted well, but the Barbars got their defence together and held them out. And here they go now, attacking. The Barbarians, they're running very silky smooth lines in this attacking form, and there is another great run from Koteka. They're going to go down the far side. Will they have it? Green goes for the corner. Green gets 5. And the Barbarians extend their lead 27 points to 12 over the Classic Wallabies.
Yeah, it's been coming in this last few minutes. The Barbarians starting to show a little bit more speed, a little bit more composure with the ball in hand as well. And Sam Green, well deserved. He's been playing very well. And as you said earlier, very flexible in his roles today with the Barbarians, and he'll be doing himself no disservices. Koteka made the break. He got past a couple, eventually brought down by Samo, and it was just weight of numbers in the end, and he skipped through the winger there, and Ali Skibbon, who made a last minute lunge out, but unable to stop Sam Green. And he's going to try and convert his own try from almost on the sideline.
Now, the big thing for me when I look at this squad, you can say about the amount of training they've done through the week and how much they've grown as a team. But I think the biggest thing for both of these sides, even the old boys that are playing, this game itself has been the biggest learning curve for them, and I really think that they're starting to adapt to each other's game, and I think it's a valuable skill to have, especially when you see these guys, they're leaving their club teams, they're leaving, potentially leaving their Super Rugby teams to play with guys that they're not generally used to. And it's so great to see them now. They're starting to put together such a well-synced attack, like a good synced attack, and they're finding the points.
It's just away to the right-hand side from Sam Green, and Classic Wallabies now trailing 27-12, so they're going to have to score 3 times if they want to get back into it.
And, I think a very important stat that we've just found out, just under 3,000 people here at this local rugby club in Lismore. If that doesn't say that rugby is strong in this part of the country, I don't know what else does. Such a great turnout. We've been through the power outages, we've been through the cold winds, we've been through Lottie's huge hits, and we're having just an absolute belter afternoon.
Yeah, they said 2,950, but I think I saw at least 50 jump the fence, so I reckon we can go over that 3,000 mark.
Mate, you get to add 10%, so I'm adding another 390 on that, 290 on that. There we go, Classic Wallabies, ball in hand, Sheehan sends it out. There's going up the middle there, that'll be Ewan. He does very well in the grey headgear. Sheehan now. Sheehan goes himself, floats one out wide. It looks like the Classic Wallabies are starting their grind again as they go in with Samo in the lead. Sheehan offloads. Good heavy run there from Rory O'Connor. Bit of a loose ball. They're going to keep moving their way up the field. Oh, tired hands there. McDouling, he'll miss it. It'll get cleaned up by Verdiarm. Verdiarm, he's going to go hard and fast, but the defence will bring him down. Sheehan sends it out. Good hands from Armstrong. Offloads, a little bit of a flick pass, finds McDouling. McDouling gets another one off of his own. There's Carraro. Carraro offloads back, finds Armstrong. Going to get close. Sheehan, but it wasn't meant to be, Marty.
Offload city out there at the moment. The Classic Wallabies doing a little bit of Barbarians and throwing the ball around. It looked like they were building some good momentum there, but the last one just didn't go to hand as we see the Barbarians reserves there warming up. That's Andrew Reddy in the 16, Nisarani in the 20. As Pat Phibbs gets a run and he replaces Nick Juiced for the Classic Wallabies, so he'll slot in at 10. Playing outside, of course, Brett Sheehan.
Now, another good opportunity here for the Classic Wallabies, Marty. They're, just inside the 22. They've shown that they can, get the grind on. And it looks like it'll be Theo Stang there at halfback for the Barbarians. A little bit of a flick between the legs. They're going to work their way up the middle of the field. Some great running of the ball, followed up. There we go by Kellaway. Good running. They're going to keep going. Momentum's there. They've also got the leg. There's Jack Maddox. Jack Maddox in a foot race. Byron Hutchinson has a dig. They get the offload, but it's just going to fall short. The Classic Wallabies doing so well. And that little injection of Byron Hutchinson has definitely paid off this afternoon.
Byron Hutchinson, what a chase from the young fella. And he goes again here. He flicks one out the back. The Queensland country star, but they found Matt Phillip in the black and white.
And you can hear, if you can't hear it on the stream, the crowd is on the edge of their seats. This is just sensational rugby. And here goes Banks, goes for a heavy, fast run. And there you go to University of Queensland stalwarts. McDouling taking him on one-on-one. They're going to keep going, a little bit of an offload. And here is Orangi. Another offload. There they go, very quick through the hands. They're going to keep pulling it. Green gets the offload. Will they be able to go all the way? But another lost opportunity. But he'll get taken out. I think we're going to come back to the scrum, Marty.
Fast footy out there, no doubt about that. Marty is, I think, calls on the subs, or maybe he's calling for water. But yeah, fantastic stuff there from both sides. Really willing to throw the ball around as Brett Wellington gets his first action of the game. He's just coming on now for the Barbarians.
The interesting thing was, I spoke to Alan Jones for the game, and he was pretty confident in his 15 that he had on, and he said, we will sub if we have to, but he wasn't, thinking that he was going to do too many. And now we've seen this. We've seen a good little plethora of subs coming on, and I'm really excited to see that Brett Wellington's in the fray now. Some fresh blood out there, so it means that this Classic Wallabies side, they're starting to push these Barbarians back a bit.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. They are absolutely turning it on here, the Classic Wallabies. They backed themselves in here still. It's just under a quarter of the game to go, and they're having another one of the extended drinks breaks right on the hour mark. I think.
No, that's it.
I think it's definitely a 20-minute marker.
Well, I think a lot of important conversations need to happen. It seems like we're inadvertently taking quarters. We're taking cheeky quarters, which I think is pretty fair for some of these old hands. I have to say, how impressive has the intensity of this game been? Like, you come into this game, and I don't think you can ever really expect. You can't predict what's going to happen. And, I asked this question to some people before the game. There's about a 10-year professional gap between both of these teams. And I thought, how will the older style of play and the new style of play, how will that work when it's going against one another? And they seem to be both playing their own styles of games, and they're both playing exceptionally well.
Yeah, and the Barbarians, of course, they're warming up for their game against the Wallabies. They'll be trying a few different things on the paddock today, and we can see the players here on the screen, and a lot of them are huge professional players at the moment. Matt Phillip, a massive year for the Western Force, and he's bunking down alongside Richie Arnold, of course, the twin brother of Rory, and another Western Force star over there. And these guys are also playing for their futures. There's no doubt about it. So it's going to be
backing out for a scrum.
Classic Wallabies feed.
Sheehan feeds. No staying. Doesn't give him the same niggle that he's been giving in turn. Bit of a pick and go there from Samo. Will knock on. And Clay Ewan thought he was there, thought he was going to get it. But in the end, got slowed up. And it's going to be a great attacking opportunity here for the Barbarians, Marty. They're about 10, 15 metres out from that Classic Wallabies line.
And the Classic Wallabies, of course, as part of this trip, are doing it all off their own back. There's no payments or anything for the Classics today. They're doing this tour for their own enjoyment, and what they want to give back to the communities. And they really enjoy going out to the local clubs and doing the clinics. And yeah, it's just a really special opportunity for them as Drew Mitchell puts the ball on the toe.
He's buried it up, I think, and he knows you can see the grin on his face.
He's nearly taken out someone in row Z here at the Crozier Field, but yeah, he looks great. Great, vision from Drew to pick that ball up, and he saw there was no one out the back and thought, maybe my legs would still get me there. And he had a kick, and
I think that's probably the best way to describe that kick. It was a bit of a dig.
He was still lucky he was inside his 22 because it went.
Oh, there we go. Sheehan does well now. Sheehan puts in a kick of his own. Bit of a chip and chase. It's going to go high. It's going to have Maddox underneath it. Maddox shimmies through the defence. There's bodies flying everywhere here. You're going to keep running it through the hands. The Barbarians trying to make their way back into the Classic Wallaby side of the field. Great hands Oh, and Maddox will drop it there, spill the beans. And it'll be a battle of the front rows, but Fryer will get up after Manu tackles him down. There we go, penalty. It's going to be a quick restart. Here we go, running away with it. There's a Verity arm. Gets the offload. Sheehan will knock it on. He wasn't ready for that split second.
He swung that back at Sheehan at 100 miles an hour.
Hey, Sheehan's not the tallest bloke on the paddock, but that was a pretty low blow below the knees.
He's thrown that straight at his ankles after playing about 45 minutes of this 60 minutes so far. And Brett Sheehan will be hoping for a beer from James Verity Am, no doubt, after this.
I think it's going to be a few to throw, and I think Lottie Takiri's going to be giving a few out as well.
So here's the scrum now, and Radicki, as he said, he's slot in at number 8. Spent plenty of time there for the Reds and the Wallabies.
You're going to go inside. There we go, a little bit of a show and go. Girdler on the move, up the middle of the field. Staying, sends it out. Here's Arnold. Arnold gets the offload, but it looks like some very good defence from Carraro.
Oh, Sam Green busts through the line there, and he's eventually brought down the support runner, brought down by the collar.
The Barbarians now on the back of a few penalties. They're doing well. There's one of the fresh substitutions. That's Cal Cohen in the mix. They're going to keep moving their way up the middle of the field. Strang sends it out. There's Arnold. Arnold, bit of a step, goes one-on-one against Young. The Barbarians, just under 17 minutes left. Loose ball. Kellaway wanted it, but he couldn't get it, so we're going to come back to the 22. We're seeing a bit of a pattern here, Marty. The Barbarians get the ball, they work it up to the 22, they're losing it, but then we're seeing Australian classic scrum, and then we're going back, and there are some tired bodies out there this afternoon.
Yeah, everyone's starting to feel it a bit, I think. 63 minutes in, they thought they were going okay at half time. They thought, oh, this isn't as hard as I remember.
We might be pushing it up to 10-minute drink breaks.
Now they've just had quite a long break, and a few of them are blowing pretty hard, but that ball's going to come back nice and easy. So DK might pick this one up himself. Yep, he plays it out, and here he goes. Radicki Samo takes on Kateka.
They're going to work their way up. Here you go, the Australian Classics, working it through the hands. That's textbook for everyone at home, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be a good run from Clay Ewan. Down the far side, they're starting to show some razzle-dazzle off the first receiver position. They're going to keep making their way up. Here's McDouling. McDouling one-on-one against Cohen. Gets the better of the man. Sheehan goes the far side. Little offload. They're going to keep going. Very fast, resourceful rugby here from the Australian Classics. Sheehan at the back. Gets it out quick. They're going to work through the hands. Here's Mitchell. Bit of a step. Mitchell dodges one. But they get wary of his cheekiness at close range contact. And they wrap him up. McDouling grabs that one mid-air. Sheehan offloads. They're moving very well. Mitchell putting himself right in the thick of it. He'll get himself just before the 40-metre line. Sheehan offloads. They're going to keep going through. Good hands, good little bump there from Douglas, and he'll go to ground. And it looks like there is some very, very electric clearing out from this Classic Wallabies side, Marty.
Absolutely, the Classic Wallabies, they've got to go now. They're down by 15, just over 10 minutes to go in this one. So now's the time for them to step it up, and there's 3 subs coming on from their coach, Scott Wisemantle, and, of course, Owen Finnegan helping with the coaching duties too. So there's going to be Nick Juice back on. Byron Hutchinson.
Hasn't he been good today?
Fantastic. He's been very, very good. And AJ Gilbert too. He's going to head on. So Brett Sheehan gets a spell. So does Dave McDouling.
Now there's one of the big old heads, Dave McDouling. We've seen him playing at a few different Super Rugby clubs. He's been overseas as well, so I think he's been a big asset for this Classic Wallaby side this afternoon.
Yeah, he played with the Waratahs this year down in Sydney, and he's looking for the next step in his career as well, as the ball goes out the back and the Barbars come away with it.
Doing well. Good run by Cohen. Oh, and that is a great show and go by Phillip. Strang from the back. Green gets the offload. They're going out the back. Keep moving there through. Arnold gets the offload, but they'll knock it on. Good opportunity here for the Classic Wallabies. They're in a good attacking position. Going to keep moving it through. Oh, a bit unorthodox, but they're going to get it out wide. Armstrong gets the offload to the inside. They're going to go all the way. Great inside step from Verity Arm. Back to Armstrong. Links up. And that is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. They are back in this match. Trailing now 27 points to 17 with a conversion to come.
Yeah, the bench got up for that one, no doubt. Adam Fryer found it himself with the ball in hand and went left and found his prop partner in Connor Young. And then eventually some gas from James Verity-Am. Got on the outside of Kellaway, I think it was at the back, which is no mean feat. His fibs over the top to Armstrong and then back inside to Verity-Am. And there is Kellaway. He said, see you later. He's getting dragged back in. Like all good props, Jock Armstrong backing up on the outside.
Yeah, here's the lesson. Whether you're, little, you're playing in the juniors, you're playing in seniors, wherever you're playing, always follow your passes, guys. Pays off big time, especially if you're a prop. You can always find yourself another 5 points.
So here goes Nick Juice now trying to convert. He's only just come on.
Impeccable timing.
So here he goes. No one else was keen to take the conversion, clearly.
It's a pretty big trek back to their half of the field. Juice strikes. Juice won't quite get there. So, Classic Wallabies trailing 17 points to 27 here with about 12 minutes left on the clock. It's only 10 points, Marty. Who are you backing?
Yeah, I'm always going to go for the Classic Wallabies. While there's still hope, the Classic Wallabies will be the ones that I'm backing. So, I'm hopeful they can get another one here and we can have the grandstand finish that, the big crowd here in Lismore deserves.
Absolutely. We're seeing substitutions, that revolving door of substitutions for the Classic Wallabies, definitely paying dividends right now. Good take from Johnson. Flick it out through the hands. Ooh, loose ball out the back. Mitchell fakes the kick, goes one-on-one, bumps straight through Cowan. Not often you see the fullback bumping a front rower. Here we go, a little bit of a run up the middle. There's Fryer. Ball out the back, they're going to keep working it, working really hard off that first receiver, but that is a sensational strip from David Horwitz. The Barbarians, here's Banks. Banks dodges one. Number 2 and 3 will get him. The Barbarians, Arnold looks for Green. Green sends it out through the hands. Oh, pass first, look second, loose ball. I think it's a penalty against the Classic Wallabies offside. They're going to keep working to the hands. Green. Here goes Banks offloading. They're keeping it simple. Here's Girdler. Girdler goes himself. He'll get brought down. Loose ball flicked out the side. Here they go, pulling down the far side. There's Byron Hutchinson. Can he go all the way? Hutchinson's going to pull away. And that is 90 metres of masterclass rugby from the Wallabies Classics. Number 22, Byron Hutchinson.
Great run from Byron Hutchinson. He's an up-and-comer up in the Queensland setup. He's working with Queensland Country at the moment and doing a bit of work with the Aussie 7 squad too. So he was absolutely gunning it down the sideline there. And look, we're going to have that finish that we'd all hope for.
It's going to be close. One of the big things for Byron Hutchinson is West Premier Grade side, they went from 9th to 4th in a season, and this guy is one of the reasons. He works so hard from the back of the backs at the number 15 position, and this is why he's a fit guy, very athletic, and we see him goes the full length of the field there, and he really dug deep when everyone else was a bit shallow.
Yeah, absolutely. And here comes Taniela Tupou. The Tongan Thors come on, and I think I just saw a couple of the Classic Wallabies put their hands up.
Sometime, boys.
Ready for this revolving door to start revolving a bit quicker.
Oh, I think if Taniela Tupou's on, it's going to be spun off its hinges in a second.
Yeah, very interesting. You can see him having a laugh. Steve Oils has a big grin on his face. He's glad he's not out there, but the conversion successful from Nick Juice now, so 3 points in it. And there he is, the big Tongan Thor. He's wearing the number 18 jersey, so
it's a 3-point game, and there is only 9 minutes left in the game. Very, very close here. The Barbarians will be going for the restart, and we can see very active lines here. The sidelines from both benches. And Taniela Tupou. I would have backed Tupou for that conversion, but I think he's done the right thing by giving it to Sam Green.
Maybe the professional Taniela Tupou. So
he's a character of the game and great asset, especially to the Queensland Reds. And I look forward to seeing him in action next season.
Absolutely. And, of course, with Sam Talakai moving down to the Rebels, he's going to get more opportunities in that front row under Brad Thorne, you'd imagine.
That's it, and isn't that just an exciting prospect? You know, I think it's a big thing. You know, have Brad Thorne backing, you know, the Wallabies over New Zealand for the test on the weekend. But I think he's definitely going to bring some very good energy and some very good coaching to that team.
No doubt about that. Brad Thorne's done wonders for the 20s up there, and of course with the Queensland Country sitting on top of the ladder now in the NRC. They've won more games this season than they have the previous 3 combined, I think I read this week. So. Yeah, he's doing great stuff. So, Classic Wallabies, just over 5 minutes to go, and they're on the verge of a huge upset here at Lismore.
Here we go. 7.5 minutes left. Classic Wallabies, here's Samo. Samo gets a bit of vinegar in the veins and goes hard to the halfway line. The Classic Wallabies are having to work really hard. Girdler having a dig, trying to find that turnover, but jumping in will be Pat McCutcheon in the number 7 jersey. Here they go. At the back, it'll be half Fryer. They're going to keep working it through the hands. Here's Hutchinson. I beg your pardon, no. Owen. Working hard. Here's Hutchinson now. Pairing at the back. They've worked very hard. There they go. They're back onto the halfway line. The Barbarians, they're going to have to step up the defence. Sniping defence coming through, but it's not going to stop Matt Gibbon. They're going to keep pulling through. Good hands. Spoke too soon. Bit of a loose pill. Brendan Owen having a go up the middle, gets the and Arnold drops him like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, I think it might have been a call from the touchy there for a knock on from Radiki Samo. He thought he got away with it, I think. The big number 8.
It's a big addition to this front row now, Marty. I'm looking forward to this scrum.
Yeah, very much so. As the subs start to happen pretty quickly, and Radiki does come off for a bit of a spell.
No, he's had a big game so far. Hasn't been on the bench too much in all 80 minutes of this match, so he's definitely put the stamp on this game.
Yeah, it looks like Alex Gibbon slotted in at blindside too. So Alex Gibbon making way into the forwards. The try scorer from the first half.
Straying inside ball. It's going to get cleaned up. Oh, Pat Phibbs thought he had an intercept and he was away there. He read that play from a mile away, showing years of experience there. He knew where that ball was going to go from Horwitz. And I think he thought, if Byron Hutchinson can do it, why can't I?
And if he'd held on to it, he might have been hard to stop. He's still got some good wheels, Paddy Phibbs.
And there we go. The penalty for the Barbarians. That'll serve them well. They're going to kick well into the Australian Classics end of the field. Interesting thing, Marty, is they haven't been up this end of the field all that much this game. I think the second half is, at the moment, I'd be stacking it for the Australian Classics.
Yeah, absolutely. And we get a bit of a picture here of the crowd at Crozier Oval. Just a fantastic setup.
3,000 strong. The Barbarians working hard up the middle. Some great counter-rucking going on. A little bit too much, it would seem. So the Barbarians going to have to weigh up their options. 5 minutes left. And the Classic Wallabies kicking for the line. Ooh.
Nick Juice making no mistake getting that one out. There's just over 4 minutes remaining, 4.5 minutes as this line out takes place directly in front of our commentary position, and they go to the back of Nick Juice, and here's Brendan Owen now with the ball, and he falls down just on the 10-metre line.
Classic Wallabies working hard, ball at the back. They're going to have to make something happen. Oh, that was a great 1-2, puts it in to Jack Armstrong's grasp. Oh, and pulling away, there'll be Fryer. Good offload, they get it right that time. Mitchell goes one-on-one. Oh, but Mitchell drops the beads. Tupou! I'll come back to the original scrum. Got a bit excited there. It was first good run there for Tupou, but it didn't quite come to fruition. Look at the trunks on him.
Unbelievable. And they look big on screen, and then when you're standing next to him, my gosh.
Well, he doesn't skip leg day.
Absolutely not. So just over 3 minutes now, and the clock's starting to tick away for the Classic Wallabies, and Drew Mitchell will be upset with that drop ball.
I'm pretty sure that Sean Maloney and co on Kick and Chase, I'm sure they'll be watching this or the highlights. I'm sure they'll give it to him in spades in the next meet. Green offloads, going to go out wide. Here's Banks, but Banks. Hutchinson gets the tackle on, but here they go pulling away. They're working hard down the far side. Good run from Connor. Offload doesn't go the way they want, and Mitchell will clean it up. In response, here they go. They flick it out wide. Wallabies, Classic. That will be not the best thing right now with just under 3 minutes left.
Yeah, just pushing the pass a little bit there. Alex Gibbon and Pat McCutcheon, but
Taniela Tupou, I think he wants to get into the thick of it and he wants to attack. Green kicks for the line. Great strike of the ball. Goes behind the scoreboard. Ball boys got their work cut out for them today. Here at Crozier Field in Lismore. First of our Barbarian matchups over the coming weeks. Oh, loose ball there. That'll hurt the Barbarians. Classic Wallabies keep the flame alive.
Great hands from Paddy Phibbs there. That ball was rolling around. He just plucked it.
Sending it out through the hands. Oh, this is a great little run here. Ewan did very well. The Classic Wallabies, just under 2 minutes remaining. Pick and go by Fryer. Gets the offload. Oh, and here goes big McDouling. McDouling goes. 1, 2 defenders take his time to get him down. They're going to keep working their way through the middle. A little bit of a chip and chase from Just. It's going to get cleaned up. Knocked on. Tupou's running for it. Oh, that's going to be close. That is going to be close. Banks is saying that he got it down.
And that is full time has been blown. That was the last chance for the Classic Wallabies. Juice put it on the toe. We see the Classic Wallabies have fallen to the ground. And what a fantastic game.
Credit where credit's due. I have to admit, I thought this game was going to go one way, but the Classic Wallabies have shown their pedigree, and what a sensational finish. And we see here this last-ditch effort, one of the best on field for the Classic Wallabies. Nick just gets the kick in. Tupou's legs can't move him fast enough. Banks gets into the fray, and Verdiam just got beat at the line to get that try.
Unbelievable. And yeah, Verdiam with a quick ball on the toe was fantastic. I'll try and skip out and have a chat with a couple of these guys on the field, Marty. I'll leave the thing in capable hands of you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that, Marty. We'll be catching up with you momentarily when you're on the field for the interviews. It's been an absolutely wonderful afternoon. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, on top of this being the wonderful Barbarians exhibition tour, one of the big drives for today was the fundraising to help Lismore as a town and a city rebuild after that horrible flood that they copped earlier on. And remember, if you want to donate, make sure you hit up www.gofundme.com/Lismore Flood Appeal. Any and all donations are welcome. And there we go, on screen there, Lottie Takiri doing such a great job there with the fans, and an even better job on the field today. Was definitely an enforcer. And remember, this is just the first of our Barbarians matchups in the coming week. On Saturday, no less, at 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time at Allianz Stadium down in Sydney, they will be taking on the Wallabies. Now, this is a sensational opportunity. They've really had their work cut out for them today against this Classic Wallabies side, and it's going to be an even bigger matchup for them this weekend against the Wallabies. There's a lot to prove. We're going to see a full-strength Barbarian side in the mix, and I think it's showing a lot of promise after the great successes that they had on the field today. So it's been absolutely brilliant, and I think we're going to be getting very close to presentations here, and I think we're going to be going to the sideline where Marty will be with the winning captain, Michael Wuru. Marty, take it away, mate.
Michael, a cracking game, mate. Went right down to the wire.
Yeah, classic Barbarians games, a lot of free-flowing ball and some good tries being scored out there.
What was it like out there on the field the first half? It looked like a bit of a gentleman's agreement at the scrum time, but there were still some big hits on the field.
Yeah, the big boys had a bit of a gentleman's agreement, but no, there's definitely some solid hits out there. Some of those fellas out there, they may be old, but they still know how to put a shoulder in.
And what was the story at half-time? Alan Jones, what's he like as a coach? Was he in there giving a bit of advice at the 40-minute mark?
Oh, you know, he wouldn't be a great coach if he didn't give a bit of advice, but no, he's great. He's just keeping the boys enthused, and just everyone's just out there to express themselves.
I guess, you know, your first run in a Barbars jersey, what was that feeling like for you?
Yeah, it's great, eh? It's a piece of history that I can lock away forever, and it's a moment that I'll remember.
Well done today, mate, and best of luck in Sydney on Saturday.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for that one, Marty. We're back here in the box. It is full time, and the Barbarians have come across with the win, 27 points to 24 over the Classic Wallabies, a game that has gone right down to the line. And we're seeing a couple of the players taking off the field now, and it has been such a passionate affair from both sides. A big congratulations to all the players that have played today, and all the players that are going to continue playing in the up-and-coming weeks. So we're getting close now to the presentations, and it looks like Marty is back out there. He's got himself another good interview. Marty, we're going to go to you live on the field now, mate.
Morgan Tiranui, mate, that looks like a great game to be part of.
Yeah, it's funny, as we talked about through the week, we're all pretty relaxed, and then same as when we played in Fiji and in Hong Kong, as soon as you get out there, just the muscle memory comes back, and it's really serious. Drew was getting really excited, all the Classic Wallabies really excited just to be out there together again, and the injection of youth was just great. That's what I think the Classic Wallabies going forward will be, that relationship with all levels of the game, from the guys that have been there, done that, and those kids coming through. We just had a great time out there. We actually played really good rugby and had some fun.
Like you said, the young guys, really came on and played a good job. Just at the end there, we saw two of them running down the sideline, nearly won you the game. What did you see from the sideline? Did it look like they got the ball down?
Well, we saw talent, and we thought we won it. We started celebrating, and we had a really good left-hand side scrum play too if we got the scrum, so it's a bit of a shame, but look, that tight game is a great result for the Classic Wallabies. The crowd are involved for the full 80 minutes, and just great for the people of Lismore. We've had a hard time that the Classic Wallabies and the Barbarians could come and support them and celebrate rugby for all the great things it gives to us and that we can give to other people.
And for you too, you're getting a chance to play with guys like, Radeki Sama, Adam Fryer, Paddy Phibbs, guys you've spent your whole life playing with. What was that experience like to lace up the boots with them again?
Yeah, it's just that emotional connection. If you share a change room, if you share the field, the training field with other guys, it never leaves. Whether we haven't seen each other for a decade. Dave Fitter came and he was doctor. We haven't seen each other in a decade, but you have that intangible relationship that never goes. Lottie and I are actually sharing a room tonight. We shared rooms because we had the same alphabetical last names all the way through the Waratahs and the Wallabies, and we're doing it again tonight. So that is a little trip down memory lane for us as well.
Thanks for putting on the show, mate. It was fantastic to watch, and we appreciate what you do for the game.
No, we're honoured to be here. So the great thing is that it supports the AAU. We're actually making money for the AAU. We're making money for the Lismore Flood Appeal. We're giving an opportunity to some young guys coming through to get a little bit of mentoring through the last few days. I think it's just a great thing for Australian rugby, and there'll be more to come.
Thanks, mate. Go and enjoy the evening.
Will do. Thanks, mate.
Great stuff there, Marty, on the sideline with number 12 there, Morgan Tiranui. And we see there all members getting together for a great final shot here. It's been an absolutely sensational afternoon of rugby. And the Barbarians, they're really going to have their work cut out for them this weekend against the Wallabies side. Obviously, the Wallabies, there's a few players that are being rested, but it is Israel Folau's last hit out before going on a bit of a hiatus. Well, we see him again next year in 2018. I think big one's going to be watched will be Quade Cooper jumping in with the number 10 jersey for the Barbarians. He's really got a lot to prove out on that field, and I think he's going to have a sensational game. We can see there's going to be a lot of good stories swapped around from this game. A lot of young household names playing for this Barbarian side, and a few within the Classic Wallabies side, and a lot of older household names for that Classic Wallabies side. Great learning experience from everybody, for everybody out there today. And we're going to be moments away, I think, from official presentations. And it looks like Marty has lined up Alan Jones, coach of the Barbarian side. And it looks like we're going to be heading down to the sideline with Marty and Alan Jones.
Coach Alan Jones, Alan, that one was probably a little bit tighter than you thought it might have been.
Yes, it is tighter than I thought it would be. I thought that, but to be fair, on the two final tries they scored them from attacking positions. One went for about 70 metres and the other down there when we were actually playing with the football. So I thought we did that very well, but we just failed. I think we perhaps got a bit tired at the end. We ran out of people, quite frankly, and we've had a couple of rather bad injuries, so that made it a bit difficult for us. I was very pleased with the kind of football we played. We didn't finish it off as we might have, and the other crowd played very well.
A few Wallabies making their return to the field today. You made your return to the coaching bench. How was that for you?
It's easy for me. I'm on the sideline. It's not about me, it's about them. But, we've enjoyed it, and I think we've most probably changed the mindset a little of the players so that the forwards were comfortable playing with the football, and that's what I like. Now, OK, you'll make mistakes, and we did make mistakes, but I've said to them I'm not worried about that. They proved a bit costly, and the opposition got close to us, but I thought we showed a lot of courage in defence, and then we translated the defence into attack pretty well. We could have done better, but that's always the case. We've only had a couple of sessions together, so I was really pleased overall.
And how about the event in itself here in Lismore? We had nearly 3,000 people here at the game, a huge turnout, and obviously meant a lot to the people of the Northern Rivers.
Fantastic. Look, the ground, there's not a better prepared ground than this anywhere in the world. And the fact that the Lismore people, after all they've been through, hell, and we had the marks on the goalposts which indicated that about the floods in March, unbelievable. I mean, when an outfit gets, 22 inches of rain in 2 days, it's just unbelievable. So to come here to let these people know that, we're thinking of them and we're with them, and we mightn't have raised a lot of dough, but I think it's the spirit of what we were seeking to do. And remembering that the Barbarians are only playing 4 games in the world this year, and this is one of them, which is wonderful for Lismore. The big thing, we had a training session yesterday at the Casuarina Rugby Club, which is not far from Tweed Heads. The turnout there was just astonishing. There were kids everywhere and parents everywhere. So this is what we've got to do. We've got to take the game to regional Australia and grow the game, and we saw the benefit of that here today.
Absolutely, but the next stop, of course, is Sydney and taking on Checkers Wallabies. Is that where your focus turns to now?
Of course, yes. I mean, we've got a good side. I'm not unhappy with our side. It's not going to be easy, but we'll play some football, I can tell you, and we'll give it a crack. What happens, who knows? But we're not intimidated by it, put it that way.
Well done tonight, mate. We look forward to Sydney on Saturday.
Thank you very much. You're most welcome. Thank you.
2-3 from me.
Great stuff there from the winning coach, Alan Jones. He did a lot of hard work with this team. He's picked a lot of up-and-coming players and a lot of players that have already got their good stamp on the game, and they're giving them such a great opportunity to play not only together but against some of the biggest names in Australian rugby, both past and present. And we can see great integration with the crowd here. Drew Mitchell, one of the great stars of kick and chase, getting amongst all the locals, and they're all going to have a bit of carpal tunnel in those wrists and hands by the end of tonight. Lots of signatures getting given to all the wonderful punters that have come out today. And Drew Mitchell, such a great game. That great ankle breaker of a step. Fake on the left, hit hard on the right. Hoodwinked the opposition and set up Lottie Takiri in the corner very early in the game. And then from that, the Classic Wallabies really stepped it up, and they put their stamp on the game with a grind. So it was great to see. And it looks like we are coming to the closure of our match here. Shout out to Jim Hines. If you are watching, Jibs, good on you for staying on the live stream. It's been an absolute pleasure having you all with us this afternoon. A sensational win for the Barbarians over the Classic Wallabies. Came right down to the last 5 seconds. And make sure you're all tuned in for 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time this Saturday, Allianz Stadium, where the Barbarians will be taking on our Wallabies. It's not one to miss. My name is Martin Lippiatt. Thank you so much for joining us, and good evening.